The 2025 season may be only a few races old, but it's already shaping up to be a tough one for Liam Lawson, and Red Bull is reportedly considering a change in its driver lineup ahead of the high-stakes Suzuka Grand Prix. According to paddock sources, Yuki is emerging as a potential replacement, signaling that Lawson's position within the team is increasingly uncertain. It's been a challenging start for the young Kiwi driver. His season opener in Australia was a nightmare, qualifying 18th, failing to make significant progress during the race, and crashing out on lap 46. Expectations were high for a bounce-back performance in China, but things only got worse. Lawson qualified dead last for both the sprint and main races, with the gap to his teammate, Max Verstappen, widening to almost a second per lap. His race results weren't much better, finishing 14th in the sprint and 15th in the Grand Prix. When Red Bull announced in December that Lawson would replace Perez, many knew it was a gamble. Lawson had just 11 Formula One races under his belt, and the team knew that putting a driver so early in his career in the hot seat alongside a dominant figure like Verstappen came with risks. It's a familiar story for Red Bull, which had previously given Gasly and Albon similar opportunities. Unfortunately for both, neither were able to close the gap to Verstappen, leading to their eventual exits from the team. And now, just 2 races into the 2025 season, it feels like history may be repeating itself for Lawson, leaving Red Bull in the uncomfortable position of having to reconsider its options. From the outset, the expectations for Lawson were never to match Verstappen's brilliance in his first full season with Red Bull. But the gulf between them has been stark. In both qualifying sessions and the sprint qualifying, Lawson has consistently been nearly a second slower per lap compared to Verstappen. His performance in China epitomized his struggles, qualifying last for both the sprint and race, and while he fought back to finish 14th in the sprint and 12th in the race, both results were well below the standard required for a team that's used to dominating the grid. What's really holding Lawson back, though, isn't the intense pressure of being in a Red Bull seat, though that's certainly part of it. It's the RB21 itself. Much like Gasly, Albon, and Perez before him, Lawson is grappling with a car that is notoriously difficult to drive. The RB21's challenging handling requires a particular skill set, a skill set that Max, a generational talent, has mastered. The car favors a sharp, pointy front end that demands the driver to manage the rear end through corners, a trait that Verstappen excels at, but one that's proving difficult for Lawson to tame. As the season progresses, Lawson's struggles will continue to raise questions about his future at Red Bull. With Yuki on the radar, it looks like Red Bull's driver carousel might soon be spinning again. Speaking to the media on Saturday afternoon, Lawson admitted he still has a lot to do to get to grips with the RB21. It's just really tough, honestly. I think the window's really small. I mean, that's known. But honestly, it's not an excuse. When asked what he needed to improve, he said, "It's just time. Unfortunately, I don't really have time." When those words were put by motorsport.com to Red Bull's motorsport advisor Helmut Marko, his response was, "He is right." While Helmut Marko hasn't directly stated whether Lawson will be given more time to turn things around, it's becoming increasingly clear that the lack of clarity on how to extract more performance from the car has pushed Red Bull management to seriously consider a change in their driver lineup. The looming threat of a mid-season switch is now in play, particularly with the standout performances of Yuki this year. Yuki has been in impressive form right from the start of the season. In Australia, he qualified a remarkable 5th and was running strong in 6th place before a Racing Bull's strategic misstep cost him positions, dropping him to 12th by the end of the race. But in China, Yuki proved his consistency, finishing 6th in the sprint race while holding off Mercedes' Andrea Kimi Antonelli for the entire 19-lap contest. Although Yuki's race took a hit after a front wing failure forced an unscheduled pit stop, dropping him to 19th in the main race. His performance was still noteworthy, showing that he's capable of strong results when everything aligns. Marko, when asked about Yuki's performance earlier in the weekend, had high praise. Yuki is a different Yuki from the years before. He is in the form of his life. Obviously, he changed his management. He has a different approach. He's more mature. It took a while, but now it looks like it's working. Those words are a clear indication of how much Yuki has evolved, and with his strong early season showing, the media has already started speculating about the possibility of Yuki being promoted to Red Bull's main team. While this idea was not anticipated to gain traction so early in the campaign, it's now very much on the radar, especially as Lawson's performance has struggled to meet expectations. The question now is whether Red Bull will stick with Lawson and hope he finds his rhythm, or if they'll make a bold move to bring Yuki up to the main team earlier than expected. Naturally, Yuki would jump at the chance if the opportunity to join Red Bull was offered. When asked on Saturday after qualifying if he'd be keen to take on the role as soon as the next race in Japan, Yuki responded without hesitation. 100%. I mean, the car is faster. His press officer quickly stepped in to cut the questioning short. A similar situation unfolded on Sunday. When The Athletic inquired about his thoughts on Lawson's struggles, Yuki responded cautiously, "I didn't drive that car, so I don't know." He then fumbled his words slightly, but did mention that he was in good shape, before admitting that he wasn't entirely sure what he was trying to say. Lawson was dismissive when Yuki's 100% comment was put to him on Sunday. "He can say whatever he wants. I've raced him for years, raced him in the junior categories, and beat him." What could give Yuki the edge that Lawson has struggled to find is his wealth of F1 experience. With 92 Grand Prix starts under his belt, Yuki has consistently shown improvement with each passing season. This year, he's had a particularly strong start, qualifying 5th in Melbourne. With better strategic decisions, he could have easily finished both races inside the points, further solidifying his case as a serious contender. Horner thought it was subjective to consider if a more experienced driver could better handle the tricky Red Bull. You've got to produce the quickest car, and you're driven by the information that you have and the data that you have. As a team, we don't set out to make a car driver-centric. You just work on the info that you have and the feedback that you have to produce the fastest car that you can. As Red Bull sifts through all the data from Lawson's car over the past 2 race weekends, the team will need to assess whether it's time to make a change, even this early in the season, to prevent further damage. Last year, Red Bull lost out on the Constructors' Championship largely because they didn't have both drivers consistently scoring points, relying mostly on Verstappen after Perez's form plummeted in the second half of the season. Now, just 2 races into 2025, Red Bull is already seeing McLaren surge ahead, with 2 high-performing, well-matched drivers who are consistently raking in big points. In Shanghai, Verstappen finished 4th, with McLaren's Oscar Piastri untouchable at the front, followed closely by teammate Lando Norris. Verstappen couldn't even challenge Mercedes' George Russell for 3rd, instead finding himself battling Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, who finished 5th ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton. After a second-place finish in Australia, Verstappen's worst fears are beginning to materialize. His chances of defending his title are looking increasingly slim, as many had predicted. Red Bull is now considered by some to have the 4th fastest car this season, and if that holds true, Verstappen could soon be eyeing an exit. When asked about the car's performance and whether he's worried about that scenario, Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko didn't sugarcoat the situation. He admitted that things are getting serious. There is a meeting in Milton Keynes this week where it will be discussed when and how we can make up for the deficit we currently have. Until then, the goal is to score points wherever possible and as many as we can. We are concerned, but it's not like we're throwing in the towel just yet. Verstappen is currently under contract with Red Bull until 2028, but he's made it clear that his top priority is being in a race-winning car. His father, Jos Verstappen, voiced similar concerns last season about the direction of the team. With new regulations set to shake up the grid next year, the landscape could shift dramatically, and there's growing speculation that Mercedes might make a move for Verstappen, a scenario that team principal and CEO Toto Wolff has mentioned on several occasions. While Wolff ultimately decided to promote junior driver Kimi Antonelli to the main team for 2025, he's since toned down his comments about signing Verstappen. However, McLaren CEO Zak Brown has fueled the speculation, claiming that he believes the reigning world champion will be at Mercedes next season. It's clear that the 2025 season is shaping up to be full of drama, and Liam Lawson's future at Red Bull is looking more uncertain by the day. With Yuki's impressive performances and the ongoing struggles of Lawson, it's going to be interesting to see if Red Bull decides to make a change sooner rather than later. What do you think? Should Red Bull stick with Lawson or bring Yuki up to the main team? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates, and I'll see you in the next one.